All right, everybody, we are here. We're on the FJ project. This is a 1985 FJ1100 that I'm doing a lot of custom work to. We has just made a wheel hugger or front fender. I made a video on how to make a fiberglass mold. It's in my channel. I'll post a link for it, give a card in the video. But here is the fender. It is just temporarily setting in place. I use some like white foam. It's like 1/4 inch thick, but it gives about 1/2 inch of gap between the tire and the fender. So what we have to do is these tie-on points here, and there's another one back here. I don't believe it was, I'm not too familiar with Yamaha R1. This is a 2002 set of forks that's been converted to fit the FJ, but this is an unthreaded hole, so most likely be making an insert, a threaded insert, to come in on the back side, so I have another tie-in point to the fender. So what we have done is we made this part, and now we have to figure out how to attach here to here. So my thought process is that I'm going to drill 4 holes wherever I want them on here. I'll determine that. And I have some threaded inserts that are rivet style inserts, and I will put the head of it on the inside of the fender, come through, press it in place, and they'll be sticking out like studs. And then I will machine a steel ring that will go over the top of that and be just a tad bit longer than what of the actual threaded insert will be, so that when you tighten it down, it has the ability to push down into the actual part to give it a good firm bite. And then I will machine some pockets to go on here and here, and another one for back here. And then we will tie it in with some 3/16 round bar, and then weld the pieces together. And then this one here I don't really need, but I'm going to put one on here anyways, down here at the bottom. Sorry for out of focus there, but anyways, there'll be a pocket here and a pocket here with M6 screws that pass through, and I'll just melt a piece of 3/16 round bar between the two, just to fill that hole, so it makes it look occupied. And then, like I said, there'll be another one back here, and then that one will also go back to the fender and tie into the stud. I'm going to use M5 threaded rivets, so that my 1/2 inch stock can go over the top of it and still have plenty of beef. And then I have some nice M5 wide head screws that'll go over the top that will lock it down into place. So I'll stop the video, kind of give you an idea what I've got going so far, and we'll touch base back. That's it. We have a couple of things here. We have some steel rod here. This is a 1/2 inch, just some round bar. This is my rivet tool for threaded rivets. And then I have some aluminum M5 rivets. This is what they look like. And they basically, you open this up, thread these on, poke it in the hole that you're gonna want to rivet to, and then you pull it, and you get that kind of stuff. So anyways, that's the rivet tool for it. I'm gonna chop some of these up into little ingots and machine them up, and we'll kind of do this like a magic trick. So boom. All right, here they are. These are just the parts that the actual screws are going to screw onto the forks. I still have yet to mark and drill and install the actual threaded inserts, but these are the actual parts, the pockets for the M6 screws that's thread into the actual fork themselves. So there's a total of 6. There's 2 in the fronts, and then 1 on each side in the back. So we have those made, they're ready to go. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and mark the fender. I'll drill the holes, install these, and I'll show you what I've done, and we'll move forward from there. So stand by. All right, we have installed our rivet nuts in here. And what's really nice about them is that they're really low profile on the inside, so little incursion, very little, towards the tire, so it makes it really nice. When I installed these, I actually applied some glue around it to make sure, I mean, they do crush into the actual part, but I also applied some glue in there as another step for keeping that there. So at this point, we get to turn some of that. Boom. What we have is these are the caps that will go over the top of these. So they've been enlarged, and they have a shoulder in there. And then I also chamfered the opening to go over that compression portion of it. So these will go in. They're a little bit deeper than the actual nut, and then you'll be able to take your M5 screw and screw it in there like so, and voila. So we'd have our metal rod coming into here from these to this. And the nice thing about this is that I can paint this one color, and I could have my mounts a separate color if I choose to. So, and it makes it nice for being able to take it apart, clean it up, grime and stuff that builds up over time. Anyways, so we're gonna stop the video, and I'm gonna get some stuff set up, get this thing kind of somewhat fixed into position, being that I have the 1/4 inch foam tape to give me my gap on the actual tire. I'll go ahead and tape it in place so it doesn't move, and then I can go ahead and pre-cut my 3/16 rod and get those bent into shape. So stand by and we'll get going. All right, we have the front mounts done. They are just tack welded on. I have to clean them up a little bit. They are mounted good and rigid so far, just with the front ones on there. Still got the back taped up, so I got to do that. But you can kind of see what they've been doing. Rods came out really nice on there. So when we get the back ones, I got to machine an insert to plug in here to be able to put the M6 screw into there, and then make another set of rods to go up to there. So when we come back, we'll have the rear set done and be wrapped up with this. Somewhat done. I got the 2 bars on each side all mounted up. The pocket thing worked out great. I ended up, said for the back side of this particular post, I had to machine an aluminum threaded insert to press, because there was no threads in this particular post on both sides. So I made a precision post that was somewhat press fit. And whenever I go finally get this all painted and everything, I will probably put some Loctite on it when I pull it in, so that it'll stay in more permanent. It doesn't spin now. I can make it as tight as I want. But yeah, I got the M5s at the top, and on the other, and then here's the front view of it, and the other side. I'm undecided yet if I want to put a bar between the 2 posts. Once I get it all, it's square now, but for if I take it off, then I don't have to worry about it twisting or potentially being cattywampus over the tire. I'm unsure yet. I'll mess around with it, take it off, and put it back on, and see how hard it is to do that. If it's easy, then I'll leave it as it is, but it's nice and sturdy. All right, we have it done. I decided, well, after thinking about when I mentioned earlier about putting a bar across, I didn't really need to do that. All I needed to do was put the bar in between here, and that would set the fixed position for the front, and it didn't matter the back, keeping them unsupported across. So this keeps the actual position set all the time, so yay. It looks Actually pretty badass, I think, when you throw some paint on there, kind of like a rat bike kind of, I don't know what kind of look you could give it, but it's, you know, it is definitely custom at this point, and it looks pretty good. I think with having the fender whatever color I want and an opposing color on the mounts will look pretty cool. So pretty simple, easy to make. There's the front view again with it on there. Now I just got to take them off, clean up the welds a little bit, and run my TIG over it, make sure I got a good uniform bead all the way around. Other than that, this pretty much wraps up the vid. This is a custom fender made from the mold that we made. It's on my channel. I'll put a link on at the end of the video, so you'll be able to see the making the fiberglass mold for this particular part. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.